With both the PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live Games with Gold titles for the month of September revealed, in this video I want to compare both services' offerings and decide on which is better. Of course, these videos are a little bit interesting now because Xbox One inherently has an advantage where they are giving away 4 games versus the PlayStation 4's 2. Prior to that, we would usually get some PlayStation Vita cross-buy titles. Those games are no longer available, so we do have to compare 2 versus 4. What you do have to hope out of the PlayStation side of things is that the 2 games they offer are of more quality than the 4 titles that Microsoft offers, and honestly in the month of September that might be the case. So without further ado, let's get right into it and let's get started with the PlayStation Plus offerings. Kicking things off, we do have Batman Arkham Knight, which is a major game offering. Now the issue with Batman Arkham Knight is I believe the majority of people have already played this game. However, that's just an issue you're gonna run into when offering major titles on Plus. I'm not gonna complain about major titles. Did anybody complain about Ratchet & Clank and Bloodborne being offered that 1 month years ago? No, and I'm not gonna complain about Batman Arkham Knight. Arkham Knight is a fantastic game by Rocksteady, and I can't believe it's been 4 years, north of 4 years since this game has been released, and since then, we haven't heard about what Rocksteady is working on. Nonetheless, I don't even want to speculate on that, but Batman Arkham Knight itself is a fantastic game. I do personally think it's the weakest game of the 3 mainline Arkham games. That's not saying much considering that Arkham Asylum and Arkham City are phenomenal games. Arkham Knight is also a fantastic game, and of course from a visual sense it's far stronger than the previous 2 games. The gameplay is strong, and it has a giant open world to explore. The Batmobile sections are a little bit they're not the best thing in the world, but some people do enjoy them, and I think the overall game of Batman Arkham Knight is very good. And if you've yet to play it, I would definitely give it a look. I personally would recommend you to play the first 2 Batman Arkham games before you play Arkham Knight, but if you do just want to jump into Arkham Knight, you can absolutely do that as well. The game has an 87 on Metacritic, and I think that is very much deserved. And with this game, even if you do want to remain disconnected from the story and just explore the open world, you can absolutely do that as well. So a fantastic offering here. And usually with PlayStation Plus, what I'm looking for is 1 marquee title, so Batman Arkham Knight definitely fills that void, and then maybe 1 game that's a little bit lesser known because it's very hard, and the expectations would be a little bit too high if you're expecting 2 marquee titles, but that's exactly what we have in the month of September. The other game is a very recent release, a game that just came out 9 months ago, and that is Darksiders 3. Now, Darksiders 3 for some people is a little bit of a mixed bag. Some people do not like Darksiders 3 comparatively speaking to the other 2 Darksiders games. However, I don't think Darksiders 3 is a bad game. Is it a great game? Maybe not necessarily. There are some fundamental flaws with the game. However, if you go into the game and you can have no fun with it, I really don't know where you're coming from because the game does offer some action-adventure fun. Probably wouldn't say it's as good as the previous 2 Darksiders title, but it is an engaging game in its own right, and again, this is a game that's still going for a relatively high price point. If you go buy it right now, you're going to be at least paying $19.99 or $24.99, whatever the case may be, so for it to be offered as a Plus freebie, that's a pretty massive offering. Even if you're one of those people that play Batman Arkham Knight, I know a lot of you guys have yet to check out Darksiders 3, so even if you single out this game to be the 1 game you get some enjoyment out of from the month of September, hey, that's a win in my book if you're paying $3 and change a month for PlayStation Plus. Darksiders 3 is really good to get if you look at it that way. Now, the Metacritic score does paint a kind of mixed picture. It does have a 74 on Metacritic. I think that's a little bit underrated if I'm being perfectly honest. It does have a 7.5 user score on Metacritic, so maybe that paints a more positive picture. Whatever the case may be, it is a little bit different than the previous Darksiders title, so maybe that's where the score comes in from. I would give it a look. I would give the game a chance, and obviously as a Plus freebie. And I know some of you guys hate me using the word freebie, but nonetheless, yes, everybody is paying for Plus, but we kind of are shoehorned into this position where we have to pay for Plus. Darksiders 3 is a decent enough offering, and I do think it's a game that is worth checking out. Alright, so those are the 2 games offered to Plus subscribers. Now let's look at the 4 games that are offered to Xbox Live Games with Gold members, and they've got a pretty solid month as well. I think PlayStation did a really good job, but Xbox is also offering some really good stuff. Kicking things off, we have Hitman, the complete first season, which is a great offering, and this is a game that initially got a little bit of a mixed reception, maybe because of its episodic release pattern. Whatever the case may be, as a Gold subscriber, you are now getting the entire game straight from the get-go, and Hitman was a great game back in 2016. It was unfortunate that it got this mixed reception because it was an episodic release, and I didn't like the episodic release at all. I'm with you guys on that. However, if you actually assess the game from a fundamental standpoint, it is a great game with some awesome stealth gameplay, and honestly, it was one of the better Hitman games ever release. I don't think it's hyperbole in saying that at all. It's just a really good action stealth title, and I think a lot of you guys will be pleasantly surprised by it if you actually do give it a look. A lot of content out of this one as well. Again, you get the entire experience. And this one includes all missions and locations from the first season, and you do get some bonus stuff to round out the experience. So really good stuff here and a really good offering. This one's got an 85 on Metacritic, and that's definitely deserved. When you assess Hitman, the first season, as the entire first season experience, it is that high quality of a game. Alright, so the other Xbox One title that you'll be getting with Games with Gold is a title that's not even out yet. It'll be available September 16th, and that is We Were Here. Now, the interesting thing is We Were Here is actually a free-to-play game on PC, and it's $4.99 on Xbox One, so that's a little bit strange, but nonetheless, it is touted to be a very good game. It's got a 92% positive reception on Steam with 9,970 user reviews, so that's really good, and recent reviews with 141 user reviews, a 91% positive, so that is really good. And it notes, lost in a frozen wasteland and split up from your partner inside an abandoned castle, the only possession you have left is your walkie-talkie with a familiar voice on the other end. Can the two of you find your way out in time? So it's a cooperative experience and a very interesting one at that. It's got some puzzle elements to it, some horror elements attached to it as well. It's a very cheap game, so value-wise, you can't assess it to being incredibly valuable. However, an interesting game nonetheless, and a new release, so that is always going to be a nice addition to the Xbox Live Games with Gold repertoire, and happy to see a game like that is so co-op driven be offered as a Games with Gold title, because now you're not going to have to convince a friend to buy the game. If they're a Gold subscriber, they're just going to be able to download the game. You're going to be able to jump in together and have the best experience possible, because that's obviously how you want to experience this game, and you want to have a good time together, so that is a great offering. Alright, so outside of those two games, obviously you also get two Xbox 360 games rounding out the lineup. First up, we do have Tekken Tag Tournament 2, which is an older fighting game, however, a very good one. Tekken has been around for a very long time, but Tekken Tag Tournament offers something a little bit different, however, while also retaining that in-depth fighting and punishing gameplay that you know and love. The game was received very well when it was released on the Xbox 360 all the way back in 2012, having an 83 on Metacritic, many touting that there was a robust cast of fighters, ample amount of stages, and sheer plethora of content, making it worth the price of admission back in the day. Now as a freebie to Xbox Live Games with Gold subscribers, playable on the Xbox One through backwards compatibility. That is pretty great, so another nice addition. And the last one is a part of a franchise that I'm a big fan of, Earth Defense Force 2025. Now, unfortunately, this was one of the lesser received Earth Defense Force titles. However, it still does have that core EDF gameplay that you know and love. However, it was noted that back in the day that the game did have its limitations and it wasn't much of substance. However, EDF hasn't really been known for that. EDF has always been a jump in and play arcade experience, and I think just as a secondary or tertiary Games with Gold offering, it is absolutely fine. Yes, it has a 68 on Metacritic, but just like Darksiders 3, the user reception paints a more positive picture at an 8.1. So even though this game was lesser received, again, as a tertiary offering, I think it's perfectly fine and another nice addition to Games with Gold. So that rounds out both services' offerings, and I think both services did a pretty good job. Batman Arkham Knight is awesome, and Darksiders 3 is a great freebie as well. However, here's the thing, when you're comparing it to Games with Gold, PlayStation Plus is always just going to come up with an inherent disadvantage. Hitman is a great game. We Were Here is a new release. Yes, it's a $4.99 game, but it's still a new release that you're getting as a Gold subscriber. And you're getting two 360 games to round things out with Tekken Tag Tournament 2 and Earth Defense Force 2025. How I look at it is Hitman and Batman Arkham Knight kind of cancel each other out. Since they're both high quality titles, they're both a little bit older, but they're of major franchises. So now you have to compare Darksiders 3 against We Were Here and the two Xbox 360 games in Tekken Tag Tournament 2 and Earth Defense Force 2025. While I would say that Darksiders 3 as a standalone game is stronger than those games standalone, however, you're just talking about 3 games versus 1, and in that case, I do have to go with Xbox Live Games with Gold. I think both services have a strong lineup in September, and if you do want to go with PlayStation Plus, I'm not going to hold that against you. I think they have some great games offered, but again, once you have that 2 versus 4 element thrown in there, it's hard for Plus to come back, but in September, you can definitely make the argument. So, that's going to conclude this video. I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts. Which service do you think has the better offering in the month of September? Xbox Live Games with Gold? Do you agree with me? Or do you think PlayStation Plus has the better lineup? Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.